Okay, this is going to be one of those videos that is all over the place. So before we get started, I'm going to say that this is going to involve me drinking a lot of Crystal Light. So yeah, by the time this video is over, I'll probably have finished this entire thing of Crystal Light. Alright, now, a little housekeeping. It is Wednesday, and I worked today, and we were really busy at work today. So needless to say, I stayed over. And I stayed over about 2 hours and 15 minutes longer than I was scheduled to. So, more money for me, so that's awesome. And two, I did not go to B-Dubs tonight because of that fact. Obviously, I'm not going to go to B-Dubs at 8 o'clock. The game starts at 8 o'clock, so needless to say, I was kind of SOL on them. But, I do want to say that still, excuse me. I have no idea what's going on with December right now. I am still waiting till that magic day of August 4th to see if I'm going to get into the Grand Floridian Villas, and I hope I am. If I am, I am going to most likely not end up alone, actually. I'll be staying there by myself, but I'm going to have visitors from Reunion. I'm looking at you, Josh Phelps. And we will be checking out my new studio at the Villas at Grand Floridian. Which is what I'm hoping to stay. Because like I said, I've been a dream ever since I was a kid to stay at the Grand Floridian. So I want to make it happen. So that's exactly what I want to do. So, I think here's the plan. As of this very moment, if something happens and I'm able to get my wait list for that I have not gotten yet. I'm not even really waitlisting it. If I get the Grand Floridian at 9 a.m. on August 4th. What I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to rent like 11 points just so I can stay at Kidani Village for the last night of December. Because, obviously, on September 19th, we are going to be staying at Jumbo House at Animal Kingdom Lodge Villas. And it would make perfect sense that as I progress, we stay and end the entire year, the final day of my trips in December, the second trip out of 2, will be also at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but at Kidani Village instead of Jumbo House. So that makes sense to me. This is literally a drinking game, folks. It really is. We've been really busy lately. Like, today was really crammed. So, I'm going to state out what's going on right now. Okay. First off, number 1. We shot a lot of video today. A lot of video. So, there's going to be some brand new content on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, we'll be talking all about that. And, of course, tomorrow we're going to review Impact. And there were some releases that were today. Taylor Hendricks, Crimson, Christian York, Joey Ryan, Sam Shaw. These were all people that were released from Impact Wrestling. So, going to be interesting to see what happens. I guess there's some sort of a cost-cutting measure with the company right now. So, who knows what's going to happen. Got to pay Rampage Jackson his billions of dollars that he doesn't need or deserve. So, I guess that's always that. So, we'll talk about that tomorrow when we do Impact. So, shooting videos tonight, I basically was able to get in all 3 videos. So, we are going to be at B-Dubs tomorrow night, so that's awesome. Because I wasn't there Tuesday, and could not make it on Wednesday. So, we're going tonight, well, tomorrow night, so we'll take care of that. That'll be awesome. Now, this morning, I decided to forego eating lunch and breakfast and having anything with the exception of maybe about 3 cookies. And I did that just so I could do this. That's right, my notes. I watched NXT and Smackdown today, earlier this morning, just so I could do this review for you guys tonight. And I'm sorry it's coming out a little bit late, but that's the break sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's not that life gets in the way, it's just I got to work around my work schedule, so there's always that. So, let's look at the, we'll talk NXT and Smackdown in a minute. So, 3 big videos coming this weekend, and they're going to be awesome, and I'm really excited for them. We start the Summer of Tarantino on Saturday, that will be starting Reservoir Dogs. That's going to be the first movie of the summer of Tarantino. Versus comes out on Sunday, and we just filmed AJ's movie review for this week, which is The Lone Ranger and Despicable Me 2. So they're going to be all taken care of this weekend. So you got a lot of AJ this weekend, folks. You really do. And we filmed a little tutorial the other day that was about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So yeah. Had some problems with the upload on it, so I'm going to talk to Will, and I'm going to try to redo the video. So we're looking at maybe trying to restart the video, and we're going to do videos on all 3 seasons plus the movie, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do 4 videos out of this whole tutorial. Now, that's that. I'm taking care of that so far. So a lot of AJ content, so tonight you got this video, and tomorrow you've got Impact. Friday you've got AJ's movie reviews. Saturday you've also got Smackdown and NXT. I got to worry about those as well. And Sunday night will be Versus. So Saturday is also going to be Summer of Tarantino. So Monday, I don't know what's going to be Monday. So hopefully we can get a Ben video on Monday. That's what we're looking at right now. As of this very moment, Ben will be joining us on Monday. So we'll get a Ben video on Monday. Tuesday I work, which is, well, that's not strange. I mean, Friday and Saturday I work. That's really strange. Tuesday I work, so get off at 5, which I like that. We're going to Athens, watch, right now at this very moment, it's the East and Kings of Summer. And Wednesday is going to be work till 6, then B-Dubs. Thursday, work till 6, then B-Dubs. Friday, we're going to watch Pacific Rim and Grown Ups. And we're going to shoot the AJ's movie reviews, which is probably going to be either Saturday or Sunday, if I had to guess. Because we've got Summer of Tarantino, which is Pulp Fiction. We've got Versus, which I'm not going to tell you what that is. And but knowing that Grown Ups is coming out this week, that next week you should understand that it's going to have something to do with that, if you know what I mean. So also we've got the 5 reviews, which is Pacific Rim, Grown Ups, VHS 2 is on the docket, as well as the East and the Kings of Summer. So that's 5 right there. So that's a big weekend of movies. So that's coming later this week. So we've got that. And then the 19th, there's 4 releases that come out. It's R.I.P.D., Turbo, The Conjuring, and God, I can't remember. I never remember the last one. I never, ever remember the last one. No, I'm a perfectionist, so there we go. Red 2. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Sorry about that. Plus, we're in Athens looking for stuff like the Bling Ring right now. Obviously, Much Ado About Nothing got officially announced for Athens. They're waiting for when they're going to bring it out, though. And The Way, Way Back, and eventually Fruitvale Station. So there's a lot of stuff going to be coming to Athens in the near future. But, like I said, that's my 8 minutes of the housekeeping. So that's pretty much what I'm going to say. So that's good. And I will be paying off September officially in the next few days. So as soon as I hear from my TA, Stephanie will take my credit card and add more to my balance. So that's always that. Alright, sorry about this being late. This is Wednesday, and SmackDown and NXT, I got access to it on Friday. Well, I got NXT access on Friday. Found the Daily Motion on Friday. Saturday was SmackDown. I wasn't planning on staying till 8 on Saturday night, but I did. So I wasn't able to do that. We filmed a lot this week. I filmed with Ben this week. I filmed with AJ this week. I filmed with Will this week. So we were really, really busy. And the WW Today Live podcast on Sunday made it really, really busy. So I'm sorry it's taken until this point of the week for me to get this NXT and SmackDown recap up. But better late than sorry, right? Better late than never, I guess is what I'm trying. Not safe than sorry. Late than never. That's what I was looking for. That's the adage I was trying to look for. So tomorrow's July 4th, by the way. Happy Independence Day. Alright. This is literally a drinking game. When Owen drinks the Crystal Light, you drink whatever beverage you want to drink. So, let's start talking about NXT. So, okay. This week of NXT, we started off with the former NXT Heavyweight Champion, Big E Langston, coming out. And he had a squash match against Aiden English. He basically hit the Vader attack, and then he drops the straps right away, like seconds into the match. Nails the big ending, and gets the 3 count. After the match is over, hits the big ending again. The fans count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, they got to get the 5 count. Give me 5. And he leaves the ring, but he comes back in to the delight of the fans, delivering another big ending to Aiden English and laying him out for another 5 count. So we see the, I don't know what, cute and quirky, I guess is what we'll call her, Emma. And she's backstage, and she's playing with this, like, toy bubble gun. And Renee Young, of course, is trying to interview her. He's like, yeah, before this interview, I need to play with my bubbles. So she starts playing with bubbles, and she pops all of them. And then she starts talking. She says, I'm going to win because I'm planning to take the Evolution around the world. And tells Renee Young to hold her bubble gun. And she does that, and that's going to be the end of that. Okay, now for the last 4 weeks, this is the 4th week, the last 4 weeks on NXT, we've been trying to determine who was going to be involved in the NXT Women's Championship tournament. So we had Paige. Paige is the first one to go over, and then week after that, we ended up getting Alicia Fox won, and 3rd week, we had Summer Rae winning, and this week, we get to our final match, would be Emma taking on Oksana. So, I'll say right now, before I get started, Oksana gives a lot more in the ring on NXT than she does in WWE. Because in WWE, she's doing the little seductive, like, stupidly seductive gimmick. I don't like it. I never liked it. She kind of reminds me of someone, actually. She does remind me of someone. Someone I don't really know very well, but someone that I know of. So, you can put 2 and 2 together if you want to decide who in my personal life, or not really personal life, someone I personally know, not really well, but I do know of her, reminds you of Oksana if you're a friend of mine. So, you can play that little game if you really like to. So, the winner of this match, we're going to face Summer Rae. Predictably to be the person that ends up facing Paige in the finals of the tournament, because pretty much guaranteed that Paige, Summer Rae, or Emma, all NXT-bred superstars, are going to win this tournament. And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, why would Summer Rae win? Because she's on the WWE main roster. So you put over the 2 main roster pieces, and without giving anything away of the 4 weeks of television of NXT that was taped a couple weeks ago, I say the finals of NXT is going to be Paige versus Emma for the NXT Women's Championship. And that's how it should be. So there's a back elbow on Emma for a 2 count, and she hits the well-placed stomp, you know, the Dean Ambrose well-placed stomp to the midsection for a 2 count. So she presses her shoulders down, trying to hold her to the canvas, and she gets a 2 count. She does it again to put more weight on her, but still she kicks out at 2. So Emma gets nailed with a clothesline, and basically Oksana channels her inner Madison Rayne, and she locks on a head scissors and turns it around and does that scissors stomp and goes for a pinfall, but Emma kicks out at 2. So there's a boot in the midsection. She goes for a scoop slam. She floats over, and she double legs her and locks on the dilemma, which is basically like an Indian deathlock or like an inverted STF, depending on how you want to call it. And she gets the tap out. So Emma is now headed to the next round of the NXT Women's Championship Tournament, and I have no problem with that, because Emma's cool, Emma's cute, Emma's quirky, Emma's got that really strange dance that I barely do right now, so yeah. Oh, and don't dance, I know. I only dance when there's arrows on the floor, so that's just how it works, though. So yeah, those are the 4 people that are involved in the NXT Women's Championship Tournament, and next week we should be getting Paige against Alicia Fox. Week after NXT, we'll get Summer Rae against Emma, and then those 2 will battle it out the week after. So in 3 weeks, we'll determine our brand new NXT Women's Champion. Again, I like this because NXT actually understands how to utilize their women's division. The only superstar from the WWE that is absent from this, and they probably could use it because given the fact she's really, until just recently, and I'll talk about that on Smackdown in a few minutes, she is not really getting to showcase her in-ring attributes, and that's Natalya. I think Natalya would be really good at NXT, but they're not going that direction, at least not for the time being. I think after we have an official women's champion on NXT, I think we actually might see Natalya show up on the program to try to school the new champion. So, here's another thing. We get Dante Dash, and just like with Aiden English, the only time I've seen either of these two competitors in NXT was involved in the over-the-top rope battle royal that ended up giving Bo Dallas the shot against Big E Langston for the NXT Championship. And of course, if you remember, Bo Dallas did win that NXT Championship from Big E Langston. Dante Dash is in the ring, and he's going to face off against the mercenary Leo Kruger. And Kruger was really, he's a mixed bag, honestly. He's kind of got the, he's from South Africa, so he's kind of got the mercenary, I'm trying to think what I'm looking for. Kind of like the sheep herders, maybe. You know, the old school bushwhackers when they were heels in Mid-South. I think it's Mid-South. It's kind of late, so I don't remember exactly if it's Mid-South or not. But, basically, Kruger comes out, and he wrestled at the matches, like the pre-show, like, not pre-show, but like, fan festival matches, there you go. Fan festival matches at the Royal Rumble to determine who was going to get the shot at being a participant in the Royal Rumble, and the winner of the NXT battle would be the person who went the Royal Rumble, and of course that ended up being Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas ended up eliminating Wade Barrett. That ended up being his first feud, and of course that went nowhere when Bo Dallas fell flat, because Bo Dallas sucks. He has no charisma. But that's okay, I guess, because he's getting over on the sheer fact that the fans absolutely despise him. That's fine, I don't have a problem with that, if they play him off as a heel. The problem is, Leo Kruger in this storyline should be the heel, then again, the fans were cheering for him. And they did in this match. So this marks Leo Kruger's official return to NXT. He's been gone for quite a while. And William Regal on commentary actually made a comment that he basically, he's been gone for a while, but he was trying to take care of some personal business. Don't know exactly what that means. I haven't really looked into it to see what Leo Kruger was doing. The reason why he's not been on television, maybe just creative had nothing to do for you. So that might have been the case. Who knows? So Kruger returns. And he sends Dash shoulder first into the ring apron. Like, normally, when someone does this, they accidentally hit the ring post when they go to charge an opponent, and the opponent sidesteps them or jumps out of the way or moves out of the way in one way or another, and they nail their shoulder into the ring post. Well, in this case, Leo Kruger literally picked up Dash by the tights and launched him shoulder first in the ring post, grabbed him up, and then launched him into the opposite ring post. And then he locked on a backhammer, which is pretty much like a hammer lock, basically is what it was. And he nailed a snap suplex while in the hammer lock. So that was awesome. I didn't see anybody do that before. And it was really cool because he was pretty much in serious pain. And then Kruger's got this clothesline, this palm strike clothesline thing he calls the slice, which looks devastating. And then he locks in the GC3, which is basically a key lock, but it was like a step over, kind of like a camel clutch submission position, and he gets the win. So after the match is over, he leaves the ring, and he kind of just sits by the barricade while the next match comes on, which, coincidentally enough, is our NXT champion Bo Dallas in another squash match against Mickey Keegan, which I've never seen before. So Dallas gets nailed with nails a standing drop kick, whip reverse, forearms, and a nice boot to the side of the head. The swinging bulldog, and then he whips him in, and his side belly to belly that Bo Dallas uses, I hate this finish because it looks so indifferent every single time. In WWE, it looked different. In the beginning of NXT that I was watching, it looked different. In this match, it looked the worst it's ever looked, honestly. I don't like this. I don't like this finish at all. And he really needs another finish. It's kind of like a judo throw. Because a judo throw and a belly-to-belly suplex is pretty much what it is. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I'm not going to warm up to it. So he needs a new finish. He wants to use the swing bulldog. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Because it's unique. Because the only person that uses the swinging bulldog at this moment would be Trish Stratus. And she's obviously not wrestling at this point. So it's fine. But after the match is over, Kruger nails the backhammer snap suplex on Mickey Keegan, lays him out, and stares down Bo Dallas, and basically says he's coming for the championship. And not to give anything away for the next 4 weeks of NXT television, but he does come for that championship. But I'm not going to tell you the conclusion of that yet. We'll talk about it in a couple weeks. So we get our next match of the evening. It's our main event. So last week, Dusty Rhodes made a match for the number one contenders to Eric Rowan and Luke Harper's NXT Tag Team Championships. And it was going to be the main event for tonight. And it's going to be D-Squared, which is Scott Dawson and Garrett Dillon, of course, managed by Sylvester Lefort, taking on the strange alliance of Corey Graves and Cassius Ohno. So, Ohno and Graves are kind of strange bedfellows. I guess that's the way to look at it. They are truly disliking each other, but they're there for one common purpose, and that common purpose is to get rid of the Wyatt family. And that's exactly what they're going to try to do. So, this match actually is pretty good. I very much enjoyed it. I like all four of these guys. I'm a big Chris Hero fan. I really enjoy Sterling James Keenan. I loved his independent work. Dillon and Dawson are really good together. They're a throwback. They're an old school tag team. Very reminiscent of the Andersons. I brought this up on Pop a couple weeks ago. William Regal brings it up as well. And his commentary is a great minds think alike. Right, Mr. Regal? So there you go. That's basically, we pretty much see eye to eye on that statement. So, Scott Dawson, it's a nice leaping leg drop and only gets a 2 count, and this is on Corey Graves. Tag back into Garrett Dillon, and Graves gets locked in a chin lock, and he fights up to his feet, and somehow he tags in Dawson. Dawson hits a European uppercut for 2, and locks in this modified version of the crossface chicken wing. So Graves breaks it with a seated jawbreaker, and he tags into Cassius Ohno. Ohno hits a scoop slam and a leaping back senton and a front suplex, which is more like an orange crush without the powerbomb, and gets a 2 count out of it. There's a blind tag, and Ohno gets planned with a spine buster, and he comes off with a seated double axe handle, which is Southern Pride, which is their finish, and somehow, someway, they kick out. Well, he kicks out. So, tag back into Dawson, and Dawson goes for a pinfall, gets a 2 count, hits a short arm clothesline for a 2, tag back into Garrett Dillon, and Dillon locks on a neck crank. Ohno fights to his feet, it kicks Dillon off, and the whip is blocked. It's a high back body drop, and that's turned into a sunset flip from Ohno. And he goes into tag, and Dillon cuts him off with a back elbow. He tags in Corey Graves, hot tag to Corey Graves. So Graves hits a leaping knee strike right to the jaw, and he knocks Dawson off the ring apron. Fireman's carry flipped into a backbreaker for a 2, so Dawson and Ohno go to the floor. And Graves diving clips the knee of Garrett Dillon and locks on Lucky 13. And the Wyatt family attack, and this is Bray and Rowan and Harper. They all jump the new number one contenders to the NXT Tag Team Championships. So, European uppercut on Graves from Luke Harper, and out of nowhere, here comes Adrian Neville. So Neville comes in to try to even the odds, and he fights off all 3 men. He has a high kick on Harper. He goes up top for, I'm going to guess, he's going up top to dive. Obviously, he's going for the red arrow. Well, it's not to be because Dawson and Dillon jump him, and they all start beating up everyone. The heels get the advantage, so William Regal has enough. He throws his tie and jacket down. He hits the ring, and basically he brawls with the heels, and then Dillon and Dawson stop him. So we've got 5 men on Regal at this point. Regal's at the mercy, and Bray Wyatt, it's a giant avalanche in the corner, and basically leaves Regal for dead. The Wyatt family are left standing in the ring, and that's how we end NXT. What did we learn, boys and girls? Well, it looks to me as if Big E Langston is going to try to get another rematch with Bo Dallas before he leaves NXT permanently. Let's see. Emma is advanced in the NXT Women's Championship Tournament, and she most likely is going to beat Summer Rae in 2 weeks on NXT. I don't have a problem with that. Leo Kruger returns, and he makes his presence known to Bo Dallas that he wants the NXT Championship. Again, I don't have a problem with that. The main event was really good, and once everything goes down, I think that both of these tag teams are going to have a shot at upsetting the Wyatt family for the NXT Championships, even though Graves and Ono are the ones that are actually getting the shot, and I know that match does happen in the next several weeks of tapings because it's already happened. But I'm not going to spoil that for you guys because I know I spoil things on AJ's reviews all the time. We're doing verses and everything like that, but I'm not going to spoil anything for you wrestling fans because you want to read the spoilers, you're going to read them anyways, but I'm not going to let you guys have the satisfaction of knowing. If you want to know, go look for yourself, so I'm not going to bring it up. So that was NXT. NXT brought us into Smackdown, and for the first time in a long while, Smackdown does not start with a long promo that makes Owens' wrist hurt because he has to write so much. Oh no, it actually starts with a wrestling match, which is the final blow-off to the big feud between Sheamus and Damien Sandow in a Dublin street fight. Now, first thing about this match. Alright. I don't know if it was a rib or if it was just dumb humor or the way that Vince thinks, but my God, this match was a giant stereotype. Okay, first off, it's a Dublin street fight. At ringside, we have a literal bar with a bar tap, long day, a keg of alcohol under the ring. The canes, the Singapore canes, were green for this match. And to top it all off, under the ring, there was literally a sack of potatoes. The only thing missing is Sandow getting nailed with a box of Lucky Charms, or that would have been the most stereotypical match in the history of SmackDown. But this match was actually really good. It was a really brutal fight, too. It's really nice because of this feud with Sheamus. Damien Sandow's actually been able to show a little more of a mean streak, and I like that about this. Because I know this is the point is to get Sheamus another win, but hopefully the point of this is also to get Sandow ready to move on to the next level. That's where he needs to be right now. And this match against Sheamus, basically holding his own against Sheamus, just like what Fandango does on Raw a couple days later. In this case, obviously, because I'm backtracking time travel, because obviously I did the Raw recap on Monday night, I'm doing SmackDown on Thursday night from last Friday night, which was taped on Tuesday night. So yeah, now that I've blown your mind, I'm going to continue with this review. So, Sheamus gets nailed with a back elbow, and he picks the chair up and puts it from underneath the ring, and he lodges it in between the top and middle turnbuckles. So, oh yeah, by the way, the bar stools are green too. Sandow gets nailed right in the forehead with a stool from Sheamus. And he nails the Irish Curse backbreaker. Sandow kicks out at 2. And 2 Irish hammers. There's the shoulder block. And what it does, instead of normal, he just rams him in the corner. He uses the shoulder to push him back into the chair that's lodged in between the turnbuckles. So that nails Sandow. And of course, he nails the knee lift. And he picks him up, fireman's carry, going for the Finley roll. But Sandow elbows out of it and sends Sheamus actually powders to the floor because he wants to stop the momentum, which is a smart move. So Sheamus goes out after him, picks him up the fireman's carry, and does the Finley roll anyway. And in great JBL fashion, he called out Fit Finley by name. Yeah, I'm not the only one who references Fit Finley in these matches. Thank you, JBL. You are awesome. So he tosses Sandow back in. He hits the battering ram off the top, which, if you guys didn't know, is the top rope shoulder block. And he gets a 2 count out of it. Now, Sandow picks up a chair and nails Sheamus with it, gets a 2 out of it. So the chair is exposed, and there's a drop toe hold onto the exposed chair. Locks up the terminus, and Sheamus kicks out at 2.5. So the green cane shots over and over again on Sheamus. Over and over and over, every single body part. Back, side, shoulder, front, midsection, everything. And he ends with a big shot right to the back of the neck of Sheamus. So he gets 2.5 on that one. Sandow gets nailed with Smash Mouth, which is the old Kid Cash tactic of throwing the chair right in your face as hard as humanly possible. So Sheamus has got the cane shots, and he's out for blood. So what he does is welts up the entire body of Sandow with cane shot upon cane shot upon cane shot. After this match is over, both of these men had welts all over their body from these cane shots. So he sets the chairs up mid-ring, and I thought this was going to be an awesome finish, but it's kind of lame. Okay. Independent wrestling would tell me that, and I've actually done this before in backyard matches, I've been the victim of this, actually. When you set a chair up in the middle of the ring, usually something bad's going to happen. You set 2 chairs up, something really bad is going to happen, and it's going to be awesome. But what he does is, he goes for white noise. He picks him up, and before he goes, he locks on the air raid crash, or the reality check, whatever you want to call it, the Kudo driver. Before he locks that on, he gets fought out of it. So white noise through those double chairs would have been awesome. It didn't do it, no. So what happens is the chairs are set up. Sandow comes up, he fights out of it, so he breaks the hold momentarily. Sheamus knocks him onto the chairs, so he's on 2 chairs. Sheamus backs up, brogue kick, 1, 2, 3. So Sheamus wins the match and the feud. So hopefully both of these superstars can go on to bigger and better things. I don't know who they're going to go against at this point. I don't know what the feud is. The only thing Sheamus and Sandow have to look at right now is they're both participants in a Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank. So we get Hell No in the back, and basically Kane wants to congratulate Daniel Bryan for upsetting Randy Orton. Daniel's like, wait a minute, you know what? You said it was an upset. You know, the only upset was I didn't do it the first time. But I'll let your little outburst slide because you got some nerves right now because you face Randy Orton. Then he hugs Kane, and it's really awkward. And that's the end of the segment. So, we get Miz TV, and Miz has got Paul Heyman as his guest tonight. Says, you always have an answer for everything. I respect you. But I'm gonna bring out Curtis Axel. Axel comes out, he's like, Paul, you fooled me. Half believe you. The other half, well, they think you're lying. My problem is, Axel's on my set uninvited. Heyman has to retort and says, no, he's not uninvited because I invited him as a guest on your show. So, there's this random Star Wars reference, and it ends with basically calling Curtis Axel WWE's version of Luke Skywalker, and he ends it with Luke, you are not your father, which made me laugh, actually, to be totally honest. You know what? The question is, what happens when Curtis Axel loses the Intercontinental title to me? And Heyman's like, you don't have to answer that, you don't have to. And he's like, no, Paul, I'm going to answer that. So Axel goes, you know what? I'm possessive of the championship. I take your threats personally. How about you and me in the ring right now, right here, is the Miz's response to that. Heyman goes, no. You know what, Miz? My clients, they don't fight for free. And Miz, of course, tries to think that Axel's backpedaling and he's afraid to face him. He's like, I'm the Miz, and before you can say awesome, Axel grabs him with a swinging neck breaker, and he spins it and doesn't land in a back bump. He face busters him. It's kind of like it's a swing neck breaker or a face plant. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think how I want to put this. Who uses this move? I'm trying to think. No, it's not Johnny Swinger. But it was used before. I know it was used in the original ECW. I know you guys are probably yelling at me right now. It's like, oh, and it's this. I think Nova did it, to be totally honest. It's probably something Nova did. Or maybe Danny Doring. I don't know. Somebody in ECW did this move before. No. It's Nick Burke that did this move before. Hold on. I don't remember what it's called. It's Nick Burke. Hold on. I'll get to that. Nick Burke, CZW. Alright, now perfect. That's Nick Burke. That's the move. It's called the Percocet. Yeah, that's right. It's exactly what it was. It was a swing neckbreaker version of the Percocet. The Percocet is the double underhook, kind of like the pedigree, or like you're sitting up for a tiger driver, or basically you're preparing to go, and then he spins around and lands you in a face buster. Well, Axel grabs a swinging neckbreaker and plants kind of like the Percocet, but obviously not using the double underhook, he just uses it as a neckbreaker, a face plant. That was awesome. We haven't seen Axel use that yet, so that's pretty cool. It's kind of like a reverse version of the Axe to Grind. So, we get our next match of the evening. Natalya, finally wrestling, taking on the gorgeous AJ Lee, who is still the Divas champion. So AJ's music hits before the match starts, and here comes Caitlyn dressed as AJ. Turnabout is fair play, obviously, for what happened on Raw when AJ dressed up as Caitlyn and made a mockery of her. So Caitlyn comes out skipping the ring dressed like AJ. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Kane, John Cena, Dolph Ziggler. You sure know your way around the dating game. And apparently, rumor has it you dated our timekeeper, Mark Yaton. And rumors also abound that you have had some rather thorough examinations from our ringside physician, Doc Samson. No relation to Jock Samson. But that's not the juiciest. You've recently been involved with South Carolina's own Lillian Garcia. I'm not going to pull the perv card here on Pop, but I'd watch that video. Anyway, the bell rings, and AJ goes right to work. Caitlyn starts skipping around to the ringside area, and she skips around the ring. AJ is absolutely snapping at this point. Natty rolls her up from behind and gets a 3 count. So that's the end of the match. Yeah, it didn't go very long at all. So Caitlyn's in the ring and spears AJ out of her boots, and that's the end of it. So yeah. This feud continues. It wasn't very, it's kind of a weak setup to this week, so I still like the fact that WWE is actually going to do a Divas storyline, though. I don't have a problem with that. So we get Teddy Long backstage, and the only McMahon segment of the evening that I actually put over, Teddy's with Vince, and he announces the Money in the Bank ladder match, but he's not going to make the same mistake Vicky did. He's not really worried about making the announcement, but he's going to go in a completely different direction. This is about the All-Stars for the Raw side. Obviously, the WWE Championship is a All-Star Money in the Bank match. But this is completely different. Teddy wanted to look not towards the current, he wanted to look towards the future superstars of WWE, and give them an opportunity at Alberto Del Rio in the World Heavyweight Championship. So he announces the Money in the Bank ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship contract, and like on Raw, where it's all faces, on SmackDown, with the World Championship, it's all heels. So it's the Rhodes Scholars, Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. It's Wade Barrett. It's Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, Fandango, and the current United States champion, Dean Ambrose. I like this match. I really like this match. I think it's going to be awesome. I still think only 3 people could win, though. It's going to be Barrett, Cesaro, or Fandango. And the reason I would give it to Fandango would be the fact that he's a Vince McMahon creation. Vince has personally made this his pet project at this moment. I know the internet reports about he's not hiring Cesaro and everything, and Barrett, of course, has been wasted a lot opportunity-wise, and the matches against Cena I thought they were great, but I mean, apparently the office didn't like him as much as they could have. They're not going to push Cody. They're definitely not pushing Swagger because he's too much of a flight risk right now, to be totally honest. So apparently Sandow's not going anywhere, which is sad because Sandow's awesome. And Ambrose is the U.S. champion, so he doesn't need to win this thing. So, like I said, you leave it to Fandango, Cesaro, and Barrett. One of those 3 will win Money in the Bank. And I have a problem with that because Fandango would have won the Intercontinental Championship at Payback if he didn't get the concussion. So maybe once everything's okay, he'll be able to move on and win Money in the Bank. And time will tell. We'll know in we're running a couple weeks. But, to his credit, a couple days ago later on Raw, which I reviewed on Monday, Fandango really held his own against Sheamus, so that was pretty good, so we'll go with that. Our next match of the evening, it's the first match of the rematch that I already referenced on Monday, Kane against Randy Orton. So, Kane whips Orton in the corner, nails a clothesline in the corner, and Orton counters the whip again into a drop toe hold in the middle turnbuckle. He's been doing that a lot lately, actually. Whip, reverse, and Kane hits an over-the-shoulder power slam for a 2 count. He goes up top for the flying clothesline. Orton nails a gut shot when he comes down and stops the momentum. He nails his version of the Garvin Stomp and the leaping knee drop for a 1 count. Kane kicks out at 1 this time. So Orton drops his head, going for a back body drop, and Kane grabs it and DDTs him like the running DDT off the ropes that his brother used to do all the time. So Kane covers for a 2. Orton kicks out. So he locks a nerve hold on Orton. Orton fights up to his feet. Daniel Bryan's on commentary, jumps up on the table to try to get Kane back into it. So he starts chanting yes, getting the crowd to chant yes as well. And Kane gets nailed with Mike Sanders' 3.0 backbreaker, and at that point, Bryan goes, no! No! And the fans start going no as well, because obviously the fans are sheep. Over-the-shoulder power slam, he gets shoved into the ropes, and Orton nails the Lou Thesz press. How appropriate, given the fact that we mentioned Lou Thesz on Raw. So it's kind of like foreshadowing, if you really think about it, even though I'm doing the reviews out of order. So, he pounds away, and Orton gets nailed with a big boot that put him down on Raw, actually, coincidentally, on it for a 2 count. So he ducks the clothesline, and he clotheslines, and instead of going for the vintage Orton, he nails a standing drop kick. Kane kicks out at 2. So he gets caught with a back elbow. Kane plants him with a sidewalk slam for a 2 count. Kane goes up top, going for the, probably going for the flying clothesline again. Kane gets caught. Orton goes up top, going for the superplex. So he punches him off, and he headbutts Orton off, and Orton lands on the canvas. Finally, Kane comes off with the flying clothesline, nails Orton, and caught a back elbow. He ducks the clothesline and the snap Samoa Joe style power slam for 2. So partial vintage Orton, but not complete. He goes for the snake bite. He counters into a goozle. He's going for a choke slam. And just like what happened on Raw, time travel, he kicks the knees over and over again, and he goes for the RKO. He gets shoved off, punches Kane in the back of the head. He's on the middle rope at this point. He's rabbit punching Kane in the back of the head. So Kane just turns around, and is like, and he choke thrusts Orton, and Orton gets knocked off the top rope to the arena floor. So he tosses him back in, and Kane goes to get back in. Orton kicks him square in the face, nails the snake bite. Daniel Bryan, so he goes snake bite, and he rolls him to the floor, so he's down and out. So he's about to get counted out. And he's kind of like shaking off the cobwebs. Bryan helps Kane into the ring, tosses him back in, walks into an RKO, and 1, 2, 3. So dissension in the ranks between the former Hell No, again. Get our next match of the evening, which is Ryback against Justin Gabriel. It's kind of a disjointed match, honestly. Ryback goes for an Ryback goes for an over-the-shoulder power slam. Gabriel nails a back elbow. And Ryback misses a big boot and crotches his foot on the top rope. So Gabriel uses that time, that mess up from Ryback, to start working the hamstring. He starts incessantly kicking the hamstring of Ryback, just trying to take the leg out. So Ryback tosses him over the top rope. Gabriel lands on the apron, and he clips the knee out from under him. He stomps him in the back twice, and he nails a seated drop kick. Gabriel charges in, gets caught, picked up, shell shock, 1, 2, 3. After the match is over, Chris Jericho comes out, cuts a promo, basically starts calling Ryback Cryback, and of course the fans, again, they start chanting Cryback. So Ryback rolls in, they brawl a little bit, there's a double leg, and he goes for the walls of Jericho, and Ryback powders, and that's the end of the match. That's the end of the, that's the end of the segment, we'll go with that. We get our final match of the evening with the Shield in 6-man tag team action against the Usos and Christian. Roman Reigns scoop slams Jimmy Uso. I'm going to go with Jimmy Uso in this case. And locks on the front chancery, trying to stop him from making the tag to Jay or Christian at this point, actually. So Jay gets caught off guard with the Superman punch from Roman Reigns, who knocks him off the ring apron. And Reigns he charges in, but he gets picked up by Jimmy Uso, and he flapjacks him right on the top rope, actually on the top turnbuckle in this case. Hot tagging to Christian, and tagging to Dean Ambrose, and Christian goes off the middle rope with the spinning back elbow on Ambrose, and it's a falling inverted DDT. Rollins pulls the leg when he's going for the spear. So Christian kicks him off, and a drop toe hold on the ropes by Christian. He leaps over, and he's gonna go for that uppercut, and he gets stopped. Seth Rollins charges in, he backdrops him on the floor, and Christian goes for the flying body press. Ambrose uses his own momentum to end up with the pinning predicament, and somehow Christian kicks out at 2. So he pounds away, and Ambrose gets caught with a tornado DDT. Reigns makes a save right before the 3 count. Tagging to Jimmy Uso, and he hits a savate kick right to the midsection, and the running crossbody over the top rope to the arena floor, so both men are down. He leaps on to Reigns from the ring apron, so he's down. Rollins nails a tope con hilo on both members of the Usos, and while Ambrose is distracted, he turns around right into a spear from Christian, and that's the pin. Big upset for the Usos and Christian. That's the reason why it makes sense that Time Travel, the Shield won on Monday night. Final segment of the evening is Fiesta Del Rio, basically celebrating Alberto Del Rio and more stereotypes in this. Mexican flag, there was a piñata, there was a mariachi band, there were red, white, and green balloons all throughout the arena, all throughout the ringside area. The stick to break the piñata was the color of the Mexican flag, so it was really out there, and plus, there was a big a sombrero in the ring, and there was guac and nachos, just kind of like in Despicable Me too, that we talked about. So Ricardo was just eating nachos, just chilling out, and Del Rio says to turn on the closed captioning. I'm only going to speak Spanish. So he speaks Spanish. Obviously, I don't speak. I'm like Ron Burgundy. I don't speak Spanish. So at one point, the fans start chanting USA. I made out the word payback, Del Rio, Ziggler, and maybe a couple other words, and that's about it, because Owen doesn't speak Spanish, so that's how it works. He takes the piñata with Dolph's head superimposed on the top of it, and he shatters the piñata, which is hanging above the ring, and he basically says, enough pointing fingers. Del Rio broke the piñata because it's signifying the fact that he shattered the piñata like he shattered Ziggler's skull at Payback, winning the World Heavyweight Championship that way. So, Dolph comes out, pissed off, mind you, and he takes his jacket off, he goes to the ring, and Del Rio grabs the cane, which of course is the one used to break the piñata, and he swings it at Dolph. Dolph ducks it, and he double legs Del Rio and starts pounding away on him. So Ricardo attacks, and he tosses Ricardo out of the ring. Momentarily, Dolph gets tossed into the table, which is now covered with nachos and salsa and guacamole. Yeah, again, more stereotypes. So Ricardo climbs the top, unbeknownst. Del Rio is distracted momentarily. Ziggler rocket launches Ricardo off the top rope through the table, so he's done and out, and nails the zigzag on ADR, so lays him out. He picks up the guitar. He goes to, obviously going to try to El Kabong Alberto Del Rio, but Del Rio smartly runs out of the way. Ricardo doesn't smartly run anywhere. So he stands up, and he just takes the guitar, and not over the head, sideways, just slams Ricardo as hard as humanly possible with the guitar. It's brutal to watch, too. Grabs the World Heavyweight Championship, gets on the middle rope, and celebrates with it. So after that is over, he leaves the ring. He puts the sombrero on his head with the guitar, and he is pretending to play it with the mariachi band as we go home. So Oh yeah, by the way, for those of you that didn't know, Ricardo Rodriguez, after this was taped, obviously was found guilty of the wellness policy. So he's going to be off television for quite a while. And this was writing him off television is basically what this attack was. So that's SmackDown. What did we learn today, boys and girls? Well, Sheamus and Damien Sandow is finally over. Hopefully they will finally see something in Sandow enough to push him after this. And Sheamus will probably go on and just doing the normal crap he always does. Hell No are pretty much done, but there's still some comedic talent between Kane and the MVP of the WWE, Daniel Bryan. Even though Bryan didn't wrestle this week, he still was a big part of the show. Miz TV with Paul Heyman, serviceable. Axel jumped Miz. This is building towards their match for the Intercontinental Championship, the Miz's rematch at Money in the Bank. That's officially announced now. And Axel debuting a new finisher, which is not a problem as well. Basically, Caitlyn tried to get the last laugh on AJ after what happened on Raw, and last week, 2 weeks ago, obviously. Last week was a couple days ago. But that was not to be. Natalya pins the Divas Champion clean in with a roll-up, so hopefully we haven't seen the last of Natalya in the ring. Keep her in the ring and not with the Oddities 2K13, so yeah. Money in the Bank was officially announced for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Rhodes Scholars, Dean Ambrose, Wade Barrett, Antonio Cesaro, Jack Swagger, and Fandango are all going to be a part of this match. Should be interesting to see what happens. Randy Orton beats Kane in a really good back-and-forth match, so that was fine. And Ryback shows a lot of vulnerability against Justin Gabriel, just like he does on Raw a couple nights later against The Miz. Jericho started the Cryback chant. He brawled with Ryback. He tried to put him in the walls. Ryback was too smart. He ran away. The Usos and Christian defeat the Shield in a six-man tag. So it was only the second time the Shield's been beaten in a six-man tag. A big feather in the cap to the number one contenders to the WWE Tag Team Championships, the Usos, and the man who's going to try to upset Dean Ambrose for the United States Championship, and that's Christian. Fiesta Del Rio went off without a hitch until Dolph Ziggler came out and ruined the festivities. So we ended with Ricardo getting guitar shotted as humanly possible in the face, and Del Rio getting some comeuppance. So that was SmackDown. So that was interesting. Wrestling fans, we will be talking wrestling again. Actually, tomorrow we'll talk as Impact Wrestling. So we'll talk Impact Saturday. I promise you right now, Saturday we'll do NXT and Smackdown. We'll go back to the normal schedule. I'm sorry about this. And obviously the schedule is going to remain the same as much as we can. So that's going to be that. So thank you guys and girls out there for watching. If you enjoy these videos, tell your friends about them. You can share them on social media. You can tweet them. You can retweet them. When I post them on Twitter, you can retweet them. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you're more than welcome to. It's @SirOwenDisney. If you want to help become part of the Popcaster Revolution and shoot your videos out to be seen by thousands of people on the internet, you're more than welcome to become a Popcaster. And how do you do that? Send me an email, sirowendisney@gmail.com, and you can put out your information, and who knows, we'll make you a Popcaster, and I give you your 15, so that'll always be fun. So once again, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. We are about 13, let me see where we are now. We are 80... we're at 8841 right now, and my math is terrible, but that's how much we have left till we get to 10,000. We're at 79 subscribers, so we're hanging tough right now. We're trying to make this happen before September 19th, so we've got about 78 days, and everything will be great. So that's all we got to do. So we'll talk wrestling again on tomorrow, and we'll talk wrestling again on Saturday. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.